And let's stop it just a little bit early and see that we're in the loading screen. You guys can't see me, but I am stupidly excited. Clear my throat just that little bit. Right into the microphone, just so that you guys can hear it and love it. Oh god, I hope you love it. Let's get the production tab going, and the nameplates. And in the upper left-hand corner, getting a GLHF from his opponent, this is our Protoss player in the red color, Pandemic. And in the lower right-hand corner, this is our Zerg player with his Overlord just chilling over his base. In blue, this is Gorzan's Fenrakk. I just wanted to accentuate that that last K. I wanted you to know that there were two Ks in there because it's not Fenrakk, because that would be one K. That is Fenrakk. Fenrakk. And he's a Zerg player. It looked like it's a silver versus silver match. And it looks like we're going to have Forge Fast Expand is what it looks like. It's either a Forge Fast or a Gateway Expand if he's going to throw it out there. Normally, if you're going to do a Gateway Expand, you'd throw it up here. So that's why I'm saying Forge Fast Expand. Overlord's finally going out across the map. They're going to get out just a little bit late. And it looks like I'm going to have to set myself to busy. So hold on. Let me set myself to busy. There we go. Busy, busy, busy. Good to go. Probe doing things. Overlord's doing things. And I'm just, oh, the SS Radio Open. This is the SS Radio Open number 4, hosted by Sinvicta. If you guys haven't watched the SS Radio from Sinvicta, you guys are going to have to check out his stream. He does the SS Radio. And it's a great stream. He does a lot of talking. As you would imagine from basically a radio show, it is fantastic. I do highly suggest that you check him out. If you haven't checked out Sinvicta's stream before, definitely check it out. This is a battle royale going back. Oh, drone, you just needed to keep attacking. You would have beaten that probe. You would have had just a little bit of health left, but you would have won. You would have won that. So we're going to put a little extractor down there, cancel it a little bit. It used to be in earlier versions of StarCraft 2. That if you did that little trick right there, your drone would be fully healed. That no longer happens. That was a bug that was in early Wings of Liberty. But now that you've started regenerating some of your health, unfortunately, your Protoss opponent, your little comrade over there that you were sparring with earlier, he's fully back up to health. We're going to wall this in. Like I said, Forge Fast Expand. It's like I'm psychic or just awesome. Doing a good job here. Scouting out with this drone, pretty good idea. Keeping everything alive. Personally, I'd prefer to see that Overlord somewhere back in this area right here. But he's keeping really good vision over basically everything that's going to run by. And if he puts out a Ling at every watchtower, he's going to have map control over basically everything, or at least map vision. Drone looked like he was going to hide back here in this little corner, but he's just going to patrol, see what's going on. He doesn't know anything about the placement of the expansion, so he's not too sure if that's gone down yet. Let's check his vision real quick, and you can see that he knows that there's a gateway and a forge. He assumes that there are going to be a few cannons. We got two of them over here. And it looks like there's a little bit of a gap on this side. So a little bit of a tricky wall going in over here. And we've got an expansion for our Zerg player. He's going double gas a little early. And we've got a queen out getting ready to put some larvae down or creep a little bit. Both gases are about done. There they go. Expansion almost done. And stealing an extractor, which could prevent some early tech or prompt an all-in from a lot of zealots and gateways. But here goes our Nexus about to go down. Could have put it down just a little bit earlier had he put down one photon cannon instead of two. Just having one photon cannon at the middle and then having a pylon here, or just spreading things out a little better. Cybercore going down a little bit delayed, and oh no! That's Zealot. Oh, we can't see him from that angle. We can see him right there. Got him. Got him. Dropping that Cybercore a little off to the side there, trying to prevent it from trapping anything else. Setting some rally points will help prevent some of that as well. Let that extractor complete, which is going to delay things a little bit, but not for much longer with that Zealot going. I would have sent that this little guy. Look at him. Little jerk. He's got minerals. Good job there, putting that back. Got some tech that might go on the high ground. Drones are droning. Look at them drones droning. Good job, drones. Keep droning. Got lair tech on the way. We got queens on the way. We got 3 of them right now. I'd like to see another expansion for our Zerg player just because our Protoss player does have that next base. Knowing that your opponent's got a Forge Fast expand, you should be fairly safe to expand fairly early. It's not a gateway expand, so you should be able to defend that base because you know that he's not going to have Warp Gate anytime soon if he's gone for the Forge Fast expand. It delays the tech just quite a lot, actually. And then we've got Metabolic Boost on the way. We've got Overlords that are hiding over here in the corner. Overlords like to hide in the corner sometimes. I play as a Zerg player, so I understand how that is. Zergling's going to go ahead and attack these rocks. My Overlords tend to hide in corners as well. They get scared. They don't like Stalkers, they don't like Phoenixes, they don't like things that shoot at them, that shoot up. So my Overlords tend to hide in corners too. Overlords, don't worry, you'll be safe for quite a while. We've got, looks like 4 gateways. Let's check the Structures tab right now just to make sure that I can count. 1, 2, 3, 4 right here. Fantastic production tab open. We got a lot of things constructing right now. He's just going ahead and building everything out of the gateways. And looking at the production tab, he's only got 1 probe at a time, but he's got 2 Nexi right now. Having 2 of them at a time right now would be a really good idea. A lot of Lings. I wonder what we're going to do with those. As a Zerg player, if you've got a lot of Lings, instead of having a lot of drones, you need to make sure that your Lings are being active. And we got a Roach Warren on the way. It looks like this could be a Roach Bane push. If there was a Baneling nest, but we are missing a key component, being the Baneling nest. But we do have a decent amount of creep spread for this part of the game. Really nice. I'm fairly impressed with that, and it looks like Zergs do have Zergling speed. You see their little wings there. It's not as obvious without that little skin on there, but you know what? It's okay. We're all doing just fine. Bunch of probes going in, checking for a third base, making sure that he's going to be pretty active. We'll check and see if there's going to be a third base. It looks like running over here. Maybe not. I don't know where those... Oh, they're just going right here. Just chilling. Good job, guys. Good job scouting. Oh, wait. Yep, we're going to go. We're going to go. Going in, checking. No third base. We're safe. Should go ahead and want to expand to that third base. For... Actually, our Zerg player just needs that third base. We do have lair tech, but it doesn't look like a whole lot of lair tech going on just at the moment. Some roaches, good creep spread for Silver League is what these players were both at. Double gases going down, but I mean for Silver League, I will mention that is really good creep spread, and he gets in. Oh, these Zerglings. Badass Zerglings got the scout off, knows exactly what's going on right now. Going to be able to do a little bit harassing right now as well. Sniping a few probes that are on the move command instead of mineral walking right now. He's going to get a few of them, and he's going to focus down the Nexus. And oh no, all these probes just went back to mining. Puts them on hold position, trying to snipe out as many as he can. Zealot trying to step in and focus everything down. Gets a lot of Zerglings. But you know what? Looking at the units lost tab right now, Zerg may be seemingly behind, but a lot of the resources lost for our Protoss player were actually probes, so he's going to be back in income, and you can see that right here. Our Zerg player has a significantly larger income right now. And, I mean, you've got 12 workers down here and 11 workers down here, and he baited some energy off of that mothership core, so that mothership core is not going to be able to recall here for just a little bit. I mean, right now it's at 78, so, I mean, it should be able to recall eventually, at least at any point where our Protoss player wants to. But, I mean, that's a photon overcharge that it won't have an extra one. So, he might be able to have one on the natural Nexus, but move right into the main. You won't have to deal with one over there. Pretty good spread on these observers right now, making sure that he sees a lot of base going on, but doesn't know where the army is, can't tell what that is. We do have Roach speed on the way as well as an armor upgrade. So early upgrades going for both sides. Really good to see. Our Protoss player has stopped building units at the moment, at least as far as his attacking units. I'd like to see production resume on that. But you know what? Doing a really good job here with observers and spreading them out, making sure that he sees how many bases his opponent is on, checking this third base over here. Our Zerg player has knocked down the rocks to get into that base easier, but hasn't dropped the rock tower to keep himself a little bit safer, but still doing a really good job on creep spread. And so Roaches trying to take over the center of the map. They're saying, hey, check us out. We're in the middle. We've got map control. I'd like to see some stuff over at the towers for one player or another. Like I said earlier, this Overlord positioning is pretty good. I do like having them at the natural and outside the main base, so that you can go in and check some sort of tech, so that you know that Colossus are on the way or something like that. We got Forge going down as well as a Twilight Council. Some more tech going down, an Immortal. Really good counter to those roaches. Not quite enough immortals at the moment. Needs to keep going on production with that. But he's going to go ahead and go with Colossus. Colossus is pretty good, especially when you've got the extended thermal lance going like he does. And he's going to go ahead and just chrono that out. He should be able to basically chrono that indefinitely. He's got a lot of energy on these Nexi. Full energy right here. That's 4 chronos right there. And then he'll have 1 extra by the time that chrono's finished up. So that's 5 chronos that he's got bare minimum just at this present point. Creep spread just all over the map. Third base finally done, not being saturated quite yet. Our Protoss player doing a really good job on his spending. Our Zerg player needs to start doing something. A macro hatch might be necessary, expanding over here just to balance out that gas income. And let's look at our income of our players. It's actually evened out quite a bit. As you can see, our Zerg player has fallen behind a little bit, even though he's got an extra base on our Protoss player. And it looks like we're going to lag for a little bit. We're going to have to check that out. I'm going to have to adjust my settings in a minute. Once we get out, we will make sure that everything is going according to plan. Looks like things are back. We're good. Fantastic. Are we good to go? We're good to go. Awesome. Just want to make sure. Alright, so now our Protoss player is going to go ahead and knock down some of these rocks. Make sure everything is clear at this base. Sees that there's nothing down there. Mothership Core going to scout everything as well. Doing a really good job there. And I have to say, this is really cool. Alright, so you guys remember that counterattack that happened earlier, or not a counterattack because there wasn't a primary attack. But you remember that attack that came in with all the Zerglings? This is actually a pro strat that he's done. He's taken all the probes that he could, put them to his first hotkey, and immediately after the attack was basically dealt with, he just hit 1 and put them all back. What a good move. Seriously, pro strat, if you guys are actually dealing with that, if you guys are dealing with a Zergling attack and struggling with how to deal with your probes and making sure that they're all going back. That is something that I've seen recommended by some pro players. Just make sure that you hotkey everything to 1, and then you can transfer them all back, and then you make sure you get back in your gases. Usually they'll make you go back into gases first. When you pull all your probes, you'll have basically 1 in there. If you've got them fully saturated, you'll almost always have 1 in the gas geysers. So you'll just have to put 2 back and 2 back instead of 3 and 3 like you normally would split. So it looks like our Protoss player going ahead and making sure that he's knocked down his rocks. Our Zerg player still has no rocks dropped down, but amazing creep spread, especially for somebody that's in Silver League. I mean, this is not the type of creep spread that I would expect. This is the type of energy that I would expect on the queens and everything. But really good job there. And our burrowed roaches right here, trying to be a little sneaky. Trying to get under there. I'd like to see him use the roaches, at least for now, to try and drop the rocks. Because if there was an observer that would be able to see across the rocks, he'd already know about these roaches. He'd already know. But I mean, check out these burrow roaches. They're going to heal really quickly. They're going to move underground. Creep spread still trying to go around, go to town. Zergling's going to town on everything. Let's check the upgrades. 2 armor. And it looks like we've got 2/2 from our Protoss player. So unfortunately, at this point, I really think that this is in our Protoss player's favor, especially with these Colossus that are going to shoot across and take out all of these Zerglings. The roaches are going to move back a little bit. Knowing that there's not much that they can do, these Zerglings trying to take down the rocks. They know that they've almost got it, but now they're bunching up in a huge... Oh, just a couple more. And he takes down the rocks. He takes down the rocks for our Zerg player. But he doesn't have an observer with his army, so now these roaches can come in and do all sorts of heckling and harassment. I mean, this is a pretty good position for our Protoss player if he had detection in this base. But now our Zerg player has a totally wide open area that he could go with. He knows that he hasn't been attacked, so he should know. And one thing I want to note, you see these spikes back here? That says that they've got roach speed. Roaches get these little spikes. Makes the base color for that player. And now our Protoss player is going to wall this in, and apparently Zerg is just going to go on home. Doesn't want to do any harassment over here. He tried. He got the walls down. Got the rocks down. Did a pretty good job. Now Void Ray's coming out. Double pumping the Void Rays. And I have to say, Void Ray Colossus is a really strong unit composition against Zerg as a Protoss player. And so now our Zerg player now lacking a lot in gas, but oh my goodness. Oh God. This is going to be amazing. For those of you that don't know me, this is my favorite unit. Favorite unit. This is the unit that I use the absolute most in 1v1s. More than anything else. That's not true. I use Zerglings more than anything else and drones. But it is one of my favorite units. I love using it in almost every matchup. Except for ZVZ, it's a little harder to use. But I'm trying to make that the meta. I'm trying so hard to make that the meta. I want Ultralisk to be the meta in ZVZ. It would be fantastic. Checking our saturation over here, we're almost saturated on all of our bases, it looks like. Almost even oversaturated. And we do have some Corruptors to counter some of the air units. In small numbers of Void Rays, Corruptors can still do a decent job. Even and especially against Colossus, they do a really good job. But unfortunately, having this many Void Rays and this few Corruptors on the map, it may actually turn in our Protoss players' favor just because our Void Rays, they do so much damage. Look at that. 10 damage versus armored, plus 6 with prismatic alignment. And now our Zerg player is double expanding on the back of it. Still doing a pretty good job on creep spread. It's stalled quite a bit in the more recent unit, in the more recent minutes. Roach is trying to go around, scout everything out, make sure that there's no base there. He hasn't scouted this area. Nobody's scouted on the sides of the map quite yet. And now it looks like our Protoss player is going to move out. He's got a huge death ball going out. He is maxed out and sees everything in the army. And it looks like a huge engagement going down. We've got Void Rays coming in, and he's trying to burrow them, but the Observer's got the detection. He did heal up a little bit, but these Zealots are just taking so much damage from these Roaches, and everything's firing from the back. Unfortunately, the Roaches just can't deal with it. Denying all this beautiful, beautiful creep spread. Zerglings coming in. Ultras are right behind. Ultras need to go ahead and flank from behind. Otherwise, these Void Rays are just going to do so much damage. The Corruptors are going to try and tank a little bit of damage from these Void Rays because they're going to shoot everything down. Now you see giblets of Ultralisk flying around. Stalker bits flying everywhere. Doing a really good job. I love Ultralisk because they do so much damage. You can see that they were outnumbered by so much, but they still did so much damage. Look in the units lost tab. You can see that it's almost double for our Zerg player. Almost exactly double. And now our Protoss player is just going to start moving in. And looking at the production tab, you can see that just Zerglings coming in, and they're not going to do anything against those Void Rays. Looks like everything's going to be taken out really quickly. Let's see what our air upgrades. We've got one attack for our Void Rays. Going to be able to take out hatcheries like nothing, like a knife through hot butter. And still going with the Zerglings. They're being produced. Ultras had that chitinous plating. We still have a lot of money, but do we have larva? Let's look at our units tab. It looks like we've got 9 larvae at the moment. We've been staying on sort of on larva injects, but unfortunately we have to have Corruptors to take out the Colossus, and they're just focusing down the Void Rays. Void Rays are going to be able to take out these Corruptors so quickly. You can see the Corruptors do basically no damage against these, and drones are starting to come off that mineral line because they don't have a hatchery to go to. We have Overseers with full energy, but that does us no good. And now it's almost 3 base versus 3 base. We've got drones over here that want to mine as much as they can. Queen over here trying to do something. Corruptors just quivering in their boots because they know that they're going to be taken out by all these Stalkers and the Void Rays. I mean, looking at the Void Rays, we've lost a couple, yes, but unfortunately 4v4 Void Ray versus, Void Ray versus Corruptor, just not a good way to be, especially when you've got the Stalker support. Corruptor's just melting right there. 3 more Corruptors trying to step in, trying to do as much damage as they can. Queen bravely stepping up to try and protect the hive, but unfortunately it's going to be taken down. And our Zerg player expanding across the map because he knows he's got the minerals, he knows he's got the drones, he's going to try and do something to save himself. He wants to save as much as he can, but unfortunately with no tech and nothing going down, you look at the production tab, he has no buildings being constructed right now. And up here he could have saved some of his tech so that he could build something at least. Going to move all these drones. He's trying to keep this going as long as he can. He knows that he's being casted. He knows that he's got Avos. Avos, please cast more Fenrakk. And that's what he wants. And it looks like there was something under attack over here, so maybe our Protoss player knows. Let's check his vision. He still doesn't know anything about that side, but he knows about the 3rd base. He's going to know something is up. He knows that once he destroys this, nothing is being revealed, but there's a base over here. We've got 2 bases on the left-hand side. Oh man, Fenrakk. It's almost a maxed out army against Fenrakk. Pandemic doing a really good job. Got the exact composition that he needed before moving out. And you know what? One unit at this watchtower for our Protoss player would have been able to see on either watchtower, would have been able to know. And he's going to go ahead and go across this left-hand side and just scout around, see what's going on. And looking at it, he notices, he sees everything. He's like, all right, there's something there. He wants to make sure that he's not getting surrounded and tried to group everything up before moving in. Fenrakk, making sure that he's got everything mining. And it looks like it's just a matter of time. And now our Protoss player going across this right-hand side, being met by a few Zerglings because the spawning pool has been built. And there's the GG. Good job, Pandemic. Really good game. And